Hello, guys. Bear with me on this one today because I sound a little bit crap. So I'm just getting over a cold. So today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what I've called the identity trap. So if you have been in the position where you feel like I'll probably get back into it in September. So we're getting to summer and we're getting that schools are broken up. We're getting that real summer feeling. We're like in the midst of it. And if a lot of the time people fall off track and feel like they're going to start again in September. So if you ever thought, like, I'll probably get back in September, like, you're not alone with that feeling. But there is a problem with it. So from today until September, there are 42 days. 42 days between now and the 1st of September. That's 42 opportunities that you can build strength, lose fat, improve your fitness, build your confidence, feel really good about yourself. Or that's 42 opportunities you can essentially practice giving up. So you've got to have, that's a long time. 42 days is a long time. So you've got to have an element of control and focus over the summer. A lot of people fall into this all or nothing mindset. So it's quite common to see that your routine's gone. I'm just going to wait until summer. I can't do it properly, so I'm just going to wait until summer is over and September has come. Or the kids are off school. I can't focus on it. I can't get my workouts in. I'll just wait till September. But the reality is, just because your routine has changed, just because the school's broken up, just because you've got holidays coming up, just because there's events, it doesn't mean that you don't have a routine. It just means your routine is going to be different. Progress doesn't require you to have perfect conditions. You can adapt your routine instead of abandoning it. You don't have to give up on it. The chances are you're going to, just because you might be in a different routine or things might be looking a little bit different for you over summer, that doesn't mean that you're not going to have structure or schedule within your day. You can quite easily implement that into your day still. It's just about switching over your routine. So I want you to ask yourself, where are you thinking that you've got a bit of all or nothing going on? What elements is it you've got that feeling with? Um, what could I do instead of doing nothing? So instead of writing it off, instead of not getting your work out, what could you do to get over having an element of all or nothing? So one thing I would always recommend doing is like build a summer routine. Particularly so some of you have kids, some of you don't have kids. So if you have children, your school holidays, your routine will change. You're on school holidays. You might find you have less structure. You might find that you might have to be a little bit more spontaneous, and you might have different childcare arrangements. If you don't have kids, the chances are your work routine probably relatively similar. You will probably have holidays coming up, if not, you've already been on them or booked for September. You might have barbecues, events, weekends away, more social events, later nights, more drinking, more alcohol, or you might just be more entitled, you might just be reaching for different types of foods instead of wanting to stick to like your regular routine foods. But the reality is, just because your life has changed, your routine should change too. If life circumstances change, doesn't mean that routine has to go completely. You just switch up that routine and you just change it around, regain structure and regain a different routine. Your healthy habits don't need to disappear because your routine is out. You just need to evolve, you just need to adapt, you just need to change a little bit. But you still, to do that, you need to focus on how to regain that structure. So every decision you make is essentially a vote for the person that you are wanting to become. So ask yourself this, like, what does this choice say about me? When you're doing different things, when you're going about your day to day, Perhaps you are out of routine. What does this choice say about me? Am I voting for the person that I want to become, or am I voting for somebody else? Like, let's run through an example. So, if you're doing your workouts, right, this is essentially saying, I'm looking after my health, I'm improving my fitness, I'm improving my strength. If I'm focusing on my protein, I'm fueling my body in a good way, I'm being mindful of what I'm eating, I'm taking active decisions to stay on track. If you are, let's say, walking, you're making conscious decisions to keep active, keep on track, still working towards your goal. It might be that you're walking along a beach, it might be that you're walking up a hill, it might be that you're racing around with your kids playing outdoors, but you're still making these conscious efforts to become that person that you want to become. But whereas if you're skipping things because of inconvenience, what vote does that class as? Like, where does that lie? If you're skipping things because, you know, you might not be able to, oh, it's a bit of a struggle. Do you know what? It's easier if I just don't. What is that voting towards? The version of you that you want to become, you need to be thinking about the decisions you're making on a day-to-day basis. Now, this sounds quite intense and it's not as intense as it sounds, but you do need to have this on your mind a lot of the time because it is so easy. Without that, there, it is so easy just to be like, do you know what? Let's sack it all off till September. But that's a long, long way to go. Every decision you make is essentially a vote of that person, the version of you that you want to become. So let's run through this. What happens if you don't plan things like if you're at work, you don't plan any meetings, if you don't if you don't plan your holidays, if you don't plan your kids' activities, like in the summer, if you don't plan things for your kids to be doing, if you don't plan appointments, if you don't plan to get your hair cut, if you don't plan to get your nails done, if you don't plan any social events, what happens? Chances are those meetings aren't going to happen. Those holidays are going to be a bit rushed last minute. Yeah, you kind of just given what you've got. The kids' activities, if you don't have anything in the summer, you're going to be scrambling around for ideas and things to do. You're going to end up chucking a load of money at the problem, or they're just going to sit in front of the TV. If you don't plan to get your hair done, if you don't plan to get your nails done, and you race around on the last day, you might be lucky and get the right appointment. But the chances are that's already been taken by somebody that's planned ahead. And the same goes for your workouts. If you don't plan when you're going to do your workout, how you're going to get your workout done, your who's going um to hold the reins while you're doing your workouts within the house, or like if you don't plan your meals, if you don't start thinking about what food you can do, you go and do your weekly shop and you do it for the kids, but you don't do it for yourself. Like, if you're not planning all these things, of course, it's not going to work as well because you're living in the moment and you're going to be living off panic and you're going to be making rash decisions. And the chances are, when you go to the cupboard, if you haven't planned your meals, you're going to be reaching for like food that doesn't necessarily align with the goals that you want to get to. You're not going to have those high protein snacks available. You're not going to have those foods and meals that are going to build and nourish your body. Everything has to be planned for to a degree. Just because it's summer doesn't mean we just say, do you know what? We're not going to do it. We've got goals that we want to achieve. We've got places that we want to get to. We've got people, versions of ourselves that we want to get to. So essentially, the solution is we need to plan for success. It's not going to happen by magic. It does require work. We know that reaching your fitness goal does require work. It's going to require hard work and it's going to require planning. And if you don't think it's important, if you think it's important, if you think it's something that's important and it's something that's valuable to you, and you can recognize how good you feel after your workouts, you can recognize how good you feel staying on track, eating the foods that are aligned with your goal, then it deserves a place in your calendar. It deserves a place in your diary. You are important too. It is important to prioritize yourself sometimes. And the women who stay consistent aren't necessarily more motivated. They just have more structure, they just have more plans, and they're just more focused and towards where they're wanting to get to. So, discipline versus self-trust. Discipline, you do need an element of discipline, but discipline isn't the goal. What you need to be getting to is trusting yourself. Is trusting yourself that every time you do what you say you do, your trust in yourself, your confidence in yourself goes up. Every time you repeatedly ignore the promises that you make yourself, your self-trust goes down. Every time you miss a workout, your trust in yourself goes down. Your confidence goes down. Whereas if it's the opposite side, you're building and building and building and building and building. So I guess my question for you is how well do you trust yourself to follow through on the plan? How well do you trust yourself to stick to your food goals? How well do you trust yourself to eat aligned with the goal that you're looking to achieve and the version of you you're looking to get to? Because that's a really important thing to reflect on. Like you think about brushing your teeth. You do it every day, twice a day. Why do you brush your teeth? Not because you're motivated to do it. You're not motivated to go up and brush your teeth like, oh yeah, I'm so excited. Let's get up and brush our teeth. It's because it's just what you do. It's ingrained into you from a young age. You have to brush your teeth to stop them going brown, to stop them rotting, to keep them healthy, because it's important. Why do you brush your hair every day? You just do it. You don't want not, you want it easier to manage, you want it to look better, you want to be able to style it maybe. You just do it because it's what you know, it's just what you do. It's part and parcel of your routine, it's part and parcel of your day, of your week. And imagine if movement became part of your identity in the same way. It became part of the package. It became one of those habits that's just ingrained and installed into you. I don't skip my workouts because I'm someone who looks after myself. I don't skip my workouts because I'm somebody that prioritizes themselves and their health and their well-being for not just now, but for their future self. You just start doing these things, like when it comes to food, like you just start buying the food that you know is healthier. You just stop buying the ultra processed food so much. You just start buying the things that are more whole foods that are focused and aligned with you getting healthier and fitter and stronger. That's not me saying you don't have a blowout, you don't go out for dinner, because you absolutely do, because life is for living and you've got to enjoy it. But that identity of you for the next meal just gets back on track. No worries about it. You don't beat yourself up about it. You just crack on. It's just got to start to become part of who you are. So the summer advantage. Most people use summer as an excuse. But what if you didn't? What if you didn't use summer and being out of routine as an excuse not to get fitter and stronger and to look after yourself? When September arrives, would you rather be starting over again? Or would you rather be feeling already strong, already in control, so that when September comes, we can knuckle down even harder and push? It's up to you how you feel, but I know which way I would want to be feeling in September. It's a lot easier to start from walking or jogging than it is to start from standing still. So if you can keep the momentum going over summer, you're going to feel a hell of a lot better. So imagine it's the 1st of September. What would you rather be able to say? I'm glad I kept going. I'm stronger. I didn't let summer derail me. I enjoyed myself and I looked after myself. But for you to get to that point, you need to be asking yourself, what has to happen over the next 42 days to make that come true? What actions do you need to be taking? What goals do you need to be setting yourself? How do you need to be structuring your days, your weeks? What do you need to be doing to become that version of you? So, this week's challenge, before every decision this week, I want you to ask yourself, is this a vote for the person that I want to become? Is this a step forwards to who I want to become, where I want to get to? And then choose one promise that you'll keep every single day this week to build your self trust and to give you that confidence and to move you in the right direction. Not doing it for anybody else's sake, Do this for your own sake to prove that to yourself that your decisions can be trusted, that you can trust yourself over the summer and onwards in the decisions that you make, the actions you take to becoming that better version of you. So, hopefully that's clear and hopefully that all makes sense for you. And if you do have any questions around any of it, if you want help restructuring your routine, if you want help like putting some foundations in over the next 7 weeks, or you need help with your accountability, you need somebody on your shoulder making sure you're doing your workouts, doing your food, talk to me because I can help you put all those things in position. The more you tell me, the easier it is for me to help you. So, if you have any questions or you need anything from me, do not hesitate to just give me a message. I'm here. I'm always here to help you. So thank you very much, guys. We'll see you in the next one.